Trevor Sorbie is considered one of today's foremost international hair designers. He dominates the world of hair fashion, creating new styles and techniques. Where Trevor leads, others follow. But who is the man behind the styles? Let's take a look at the very private man behind the public glamour. Originally, Trevor didn't even want to be a hairdresser.
When I was at school, I wanted to be an artist and to paint. But through a sequence of events, I left school quite abruptly. And my father sort of said to me, basically, would you like to help me while you find another job? And I said yes. And I started work there. And after 3 months, I was actually cutting people's hair. I found it quite easy. I never found hairdressing difficult, but I never at the same time felt I was going to go much further.
However, Trevor's talents were quickly spotted. After training, he went to work for Vidal Sassoon, who at that time was revolutionizing the art of hairdressing.
At that moment, Sassoon's was the biggest sort of name around, and he was causing a revolution in hair by cutting and blow-drying hair, and at that time everyone else was setting hair and into what we call the sort of old school of hairdressing that was still very popular. And I would consider it to be probably one of the most exciting times in hairdressing, because it was that big transition into what we do today. So therefore it was incredibly exciting.
The turning point in Trevor's career came when he created the wedge in 1974.
I one day was trying to cut this one length haircut just around the hairline, around the outside. And just by chance, I literally brushed the hair back, just to, as you do when you're working with hair, you try many different things. And just out of that appeared this great sort of shape, which was like a wedge-like shape that came into a V at the back. And I looked at it, and I could not believe what had actually happened. And if anyone could ask me when did ambition come into my life, I would say at that point. Because when you sort of do something or achieve something, you think, crikey, I've done that once, you know, that was great feeling, and could I do it again? And that starts to become the sort of motivation in your life. I want to do that again. And that gave me an incredible amount of sort of thirst to want to achieve a similar result, but with another hairstyle.
And Trevor did do it, again and again and again. There was the scrunch. And then the Wolfman. The Scrunch Bob. And the Chop, top hairstyle of 1983. Trevor believes that hairstyle should make women look beautiful, so his favourite model is Debbie Brett, voted the most beautiful woman in the world in 1984, and a leading model. Since 1981, Debbie's hair has unerringly epitomised the inventive yet commercial appeal of the Sorbie style. But what comes next?
There's quite a big revival at the moment, fashion-wise, in Europe for the sort of 60s feeling, and consequently the hair then was quite sort of geometric, but doing them obviously in a different way, much newer to look at. And of course textures are very important with hairstyles today. I think the textures are going to change quite dramatically. We're not going to be looking for high hair. All that's going to go. It's going to be much flatter to the head.
Trevor travels thousands of miles a year with his hair shows, demonstrating his styles and techniques to audiences of top hairdressers. He is now acknowledged as the world's finest show hairdresser, but still gets a bit nervous in front of a large audience.
I have a sort of a love-hate relationship with with that because it's very difficult. I mean, I've been on stage hundreds of times now, and every time I go on, I really say to myself, what am I doing here? Because my stomach just feels as though it's just being twisted around inside, and the adrenaline that's pumping through me it frightens me a little bit because I just feel very, very scared before I go on any stage. But the feeling, having said that, of when you've done a good job and you see those people respond to you, that feeling afterwards of, you know, you just feel you've achieved something incredibly good, which is a lot of people have got something out of it, and you've helped to do that. And in a sense, that balances up that horrible feeling in the beginning. So I have very much a love-hate relationship. I wish I could overcome the first part of it, but those nerves are probably what helps me get through it as much as anything.
Another facet of Trevor's hectic working schedules are workshops where other hairdressers can learn his techniques at close range.
The one good thing about this industry that we're in is that, and there's very few industries that I know of that can relate to it like hairdressing, and that is the fact that hairdressers are so thirsty to learn, and if there's somebody that's doing something a little bit sort of unusual or interesting or exciting, they want to know how he goes about achieving these looks. And I have absolutely no secrets, and as far as I'm concerned as a hairdresser, if anyone wants to know how I did something, I quite willingly tell them, because I remember being in a very similar situation once where I used to think, God, that's great, how do you do that? And somebody might say, well, I'm not telling you.
Trevor reaches an even wider audience through his series of high-quality educational videos, which clearly demonstrate his unique talents and are an indispensable learning tool for any hairdresser. Trevor's clients have included many famous faces, like Grace Jones and Sandra Rhodes. When Boy George underwent a recent total transformation, Trevor was asked to put the finishing touches to his new image. Boy George's new ultra-short cut didn't leave much room for further cutting, so Trevor added hair instead. Trevor's face may soon be as famous as that of some of his clients. He is presenting a 6-part series on hair care for British television. It's the first network show of its kind, and Trevor sees it as an opportunity to put a few things straight.
And I think that hairdressing throughout this country anyway has got the wrong image. I think people, when they think of a hairdresser, they think of some sort of frustrated rock star, quite honestly, or it's somebody that's trying to be very trendy or something like that. And I don't actually think that that's what hairdressing is about, certainly not what I'm in it for. And I try to add a bit of respectability into this program and make the viewers out there feel that there are people that actually work very, very hard at their profession.
Creating a new image for hairdressers on television is just one part of Trevor's work. Another is creating new images in hair at photographic sessions. Trevor draws inspiration for his hairstyles from the world around him. Ordinary objects take on a strange and mythical quality when translated into the medium of hair. Trevor's creative genius has been recognised by others famous for creating flair and fantasy. Trevor has styled the hair for the Bill Gibbs and Sandra Rhodes collections. Both leaders in their own field, they can recognise a winner when they see one, and they asked Trevor to create the styles to complement their designs. Trevor Sorbie lives life in the fast lane. There is no likelihood of a let-up in the frenetic pace of fashion shows, photo sessions, television series and workshops, and plans for a new advanced hairdressing academy in London are being finalised. So what took Trevor to the top and keeps him there?
I would consider the way to achieve any sort of success is to put more into it than anyone else. I mean, it's down to a very simple, basic formula of hard work. I really believe you get out of something what you put in. And that, if anyone sort of said to me, what's the reason for any success I've had, I'd say hard work.